I'm going live. Go 3, 2.
Was that what you used to like roll round?
Yeah. We're live.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Was he giving you the hand signal then?
Yeah, but I thought he was just testing. We are ChatGWT. Gaz, Will, Tim, live Q&As. We're going to be doing Q&As on, when do we decide? The 26th of this month. We're going to start it, which is it Wednesday?
Yeah, it wasn't the 27th. 27th was the Thursday.
Right, sound. So let me just start you off with. Do you want to start off with a question? So I put a poll out.
Are you going to fucking hardball me all the hard questions? Like
I copied and pasted them into What's It, so I didn't read them myself. So I feel like, should you prepare them first or not?
I don't know. How many did you have, by the way?
I don't know, I just grabbed a few. Fucking Standish sent me one. Standish, if you're watching this, fucking hell, I don't even know how I'm going to answer it. But we've been running our gym for a while now, and honestly, we're good at what we do, but when it comes to marketing, it's chaos. 1 minute we're posting on social media, the next we're trying to run ads, then we're tweaking the website, nothing feels connected. Some things work, some don't. We don't really know why. It's like throwing stuff at the wall and hoping something sticks. What should we actually start to get this right? Right. I think for me, it sounds like, and we're probably going to come back to this, is that you've not got your brand right. And I think what you're trying to do is do everything, but not with a consistent message. It feels like, without getting a bit more backstory off you and stuff like that, it feels like you're trying to do too many things.
Yeah, it sounds disjointed in the fact that obviously you have to see the content that's going out. But yeah, it feels like we're probably trying a lot of different things in different avenues, more importantly, because if you make a tweak on your website here, or you put this out there, or you put that out there, you're like digging in separate directions, to steal Tim's turn of phrase, where, all these things should be consistent steps in the same direction, so you're actually going somewhere rather than, it being over. But again, we'd need context.
Yeah. I think we see this quite a lot for people, that they, the first thing they do is set up a gym, or they set up a whatever, just relating to you because you've got a gym, and next thing you know, right, I need to get a website done, I need to get you that, but you don't get the core fundamental message down. So you end up doing this, then you end up doing that, you end up doing that, but like your core message, your core values, vision, they're not aligned, and probably that's why your messaging's wrong. You try to do loads of different things, but you're not singing from the same song sheet.
Well, it's the lack of direction, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's if you don't figure out your direction, then you do the tick list like you said. It's like, oh, I've got a brand now I need, a logo, or I need a website, I need my social media. And then generally what we see happen is people just look at other examples of people who've got it and then copy that. Which is, just human beings, we want to be right, don't we? So we look for inspiration around there. But as that happens, is you're copying a website from this person that's doing it this way, and then you're copying social media posts from this person who's doing it this way over here.
Yeah.
And that's why it becomes disjointed and not very cohesive overall, because that direction needs to be your own.
Yeah, I think that's it, mate. And it's just like, there's so many gyms out there, so many fitness people. If you've not got your core identity right, you end up just pinching identity from other people. You got, that person's doing that, their website looks like that. You kind of become almost nothing.
We use some of the parts you've took inspiration from effectively, and that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
But you've got to understand, if you are going to do it, you've got to understand what you're trying to achieve first before you can take inspiration, right? Because then how do you know what you're taking's right, because rightly so, there's a lot of people doing it out there doing it right, and you'd be daft not to look around, but it's looking at the right things and taking the parts that are going to benefit or support what you're going to achieve, not necessarily just like, oh, I'm going to carbon copy that because that works for them, which is great, but it's not you.
And I think that's our sort of answer to that, is like, go back to the drawing board a little bit and almost sort of rebrand yourself and understand who you are, not what you're doing. You're probably putting out there so much about what you're doing, you've forgotten about who you are, and understand your values, understand your messaging before you start doing anything else.
Yeah, I think the why you're doing it, because, fitness is quite a gun, because generally from what you mainly see, it's inspired by a personal experience, isn't it? You know, i.e., you know, I found fitness and I used to be unhealthy or overweight or whatever it is, and now I'm here and I see the benefit of it, and now I want to bring that and enrich other people's lives with it, you know. So it's about figuring out that, and then once you know, give yourself that story or whatever it is, or the reason behind it, you can build off that, can't you? Going forward, then it's like, right, this is the reason we're doing this, is to do this, this and this.
Yeah. Hope that's helped, whoever that was. Will, do we see any comments coming up?
Oh, is this all anonymous, is it, by the way?
Oh, well, I've copied them, just pasted them, yeah.
But they're anonymous as
Yeah.
Okay.
I have some people message me on LinkedIn.
We did actually remove the comment section while Sham's doing the podcast, so I'll have to try and add it back on.
Teething issues.
Where that is.
Yeah, welcome to the journey of our live Q&As. It's the first time us doing the live, so bear with us. We've got no people watching us, we've got nobody commenting. This is a good one, you know, for people to get. We're not bothered right now, and you know, people will come. But if you have got a business, you've not got many followers, the idea is just to be consistent and just keep showing up and keep being you, and then people will come if you're adding value to them. So this is our first one. Let's see what happens in a year. Will's in the background. Will be giving advice as well. We're going to put a camera on Will. I feel like he's the money maker sometimes. He brings in the views, you know, not for the girls but for the guys as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite difficult to
do two things at once is basically what you say.
Well, yeah, what I'm going to say is that is the crux of what I'm going to say. But
yeah.
Because obviously I'm focused so much on when to switch and who to switch to, I feel like getting involved.
But have you not got numbers though? Can you not look at us and
I
do?
I do have numbers, yeah, but until I figure out the split screen, which is this, for anyone watching.
Yeah.
Another way of doing that.
Your fade looks good, Gaz. My fade looks good as well, to be honest.
It's a good job there's no camera on me.
When's the last time you got your hair cut?
It'd have been just before my dad's birthday, so that'd have been about 20 days ago.
Right.
Yeah. But obviously I've been going for something slightly different now. So the top's a bit longer.
Right. That's different, is it?
Margin.
You don't look any different. There's nothing different about it, Will. You've not gone for something different.
I have. See,
what have you gone for?
I get a taper done now.
So he basically just gets the side shaved. Essentially like yours, but it's not.
So it's a lot deeper of a fade. So the back of my hair is a lot thicker than it normally is.
And have you decided for that you wanted a deep fade?
To be perfectly honest, it was my sister wanted to do a test on me.
I was going to say, what social media star was you inspired by? What Love Island contestant?
Yeah. So yeah,
It is the popular cut these days, I believe.
I got told that she wanted to try it, and I was the
mullets are back in as well, aren't they?
Don't know. Take it. Take that.
I think not your mullet.
What is mine? What is mine? I don't know what it is.
I've
not even spiked it. I'm just fucking. It's gone flat.
Let's have a look.
Yours is more like. Do you know what the rednecks usually have? It's going that way where it's like.
I have got there is mohawk mullet. That's what I've got. No, I haven't. I did have.
No, you don't have a mohawk.
No.
What have I got?
Yours is.
That one there, the one at the right hand side of that. You know, like Theo Von thingy, whatever he's called.
Theo Von.
He looks like him a bit now, doesn't he?
Oh yeah.
Right, Tim, do that face.
Yeah. What?
You ready?
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Let me get another question out. Have you got the
Swiftly moving on.
Who is the best looking bloke you know from Bury?
I assume that's from someone from Bury.
I don't know anyone from Bury.
I'm either going to go for Nick Phillips. Is he from Bury? No, that's where his thing is. Or I'll go for Talk to Big Dan. It's probably Talk to Big Dan. So no comments are coming in, Will.
See, I don't think it's.
Where's the chat? Where's the chat?
Well, I mean,
is there anybody on?
No, I don't think
is
that's
anybody
accurate
watching us?
because there's people definitely watching us in the other room.
might just be behind.
All right, okay. Do you want another question?
Well,
Go on.
Right, sound. We're going to do another
Let's
question.
not worry about that. Let's just do
All
the
right,
questions.
yeah,
on
you
there.
know what? You're right. What do you recommend to create some excitement for a new service we are launching? I think that was Joanne from the Root.
So it's good with the context, isn't it?
Yeah.
How did you know? I thought you said it was anonymous.
It is kind of, but I remember that coming in just before I come in, so I seen it on the thing come in, and I was like, oh, that's Joanne from the Root, that.
Oh, okay. What was the question again, sorry?
What do you recommend to create some excitement for a new service we are launching?
It depends on the service, doesn't it, again? I mean, maybe we
Right,
need more
let's
context
go
to the
for
question.
what service could it be? It's something to do with the hair salon, so obviously it's something to do with a new hair service that they're offering. What would you say?
Unless it could be branching out a little bit.
It could be more on the wellness side, couldn't it?
Right.
'Cause that's what they are
I was
pushing.
thinking maybe like a stand-up sunbed or something, but
Sunbed.
I know, it's like so 90s.
but very common.
Sunbeds.
Yeah.
I think Lee still goes on a sunbed, does he? Lee, are you watching this? Do you still go on a sunbed?
I've never been on a sunbed.
You've never been on a sunbed?
Never in my life. What?
I don't know. It just seems a bit weird. You've never been on a sunbed. Just even try it out.
Yeah,
Have you been on a
where's that?
sunbed?
Yeah, I've been on a sunbed.
How many sunbeds have you been on?
Maybe in my life, maybe 10.
Just really weird thinking about that because my mates used to go on the sunbeds when I was younger, and I used to go to the sunbed shop with them, but I never got on the sunbeds. I used to wait in the reception area and wait for them to come out. Strange that I never tried it.
Yeah,
Really.
no, but like you don't try anything new. The odd people offer you drugs and all sorts. And you're like, no, I'm not trying that. Fucking sunbed gas. No, I'm not trying that either.
That's what I think. It was like the same with the smoking. It's just like, nah, it's not good for you, that is it? And I saw all the stuff that's like sunbeds aren't good for you. But now they say they are good for you. I'm pretty sure I seen someone. It said someone was having like skin cancer or something like that, and then they got someone to go on the sunbed.
It gives you vitamin D. Vitamin D. I'm like, oh yeah, I need vitamin D.
No, I can't.
Nobody cares of that, do they? They just want to be brown. Vitamin D gives you vitamin D. It's good for you. Like, nah.
If it does, I could use that because everyone in the UK is
lacking vitamin D.
Yeah, everybody in the UK is. But I remember going to the doctors once and
No.
there you go.
They're dangerous. Skin cancer,
Premature aging.
There's your answer.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's why I've never been on a sunbed.
Right, so excitement for this new service. We're going to pretend that it's something to do with wellness because that's what you're moving into, Joanne. Obviously, it just comes down to video. Think about the service you're offering and then come up with something quirky that you can do on video and attach a campaign to it. Think about the title of what you're doing and come up with like some idea around that and then produce some videos off the back of it. I'm just trying to think of, to give an example. So From the Roots is inside. So Inside Out, there's a song called Inside Out. You could do something like that where you get all the girls with microphones doing that and then offer the new service.
There you go.
There you go.
Done.
Bit of excitement for you.
Yeah.
I think people, when they're doing stuff like that, you get too professional with stuff. And I think it's to show off your brand and stuff like that. You know, you've got all the girls there doing like sort of maybe some sort of like dance routine, getting excitement going. You could do something like that. Anything spring to mind for you? It's hard, isn't it, without any context?
Context
What is
is
that
a killer,
service?
yeah.
What is that specific
Yeah, exactly.
service?
Yeah, you just want to stay away from anything that's like overly generic. I feel is like it's easy just to go and go. We're offering this,
Yeah.
and it's almost like you think just build it and they'll come, but necessarily it's not the case, is it? I think try and think more about the solution that you're offering or the benefit that'll bring to the customer, and then build a creative idea off the back of that.
Yeah.
That's more abstract of like I guess, well, let's say if it's wanting something feeling good, think more like the car ads do it. They don't just show you the engine and They show you the specs and all the rest of it. They show you what the car delivers. They show you the discovery, the the adventure. They sell you the dream. It's not getting from A to B, is it? It's look at what you could do if this happens, And I feel like going more that way, Maybe focus on the positives that said treatment could bring. It's easy, just put it into modern day terms, I guess, in your lifestyle. A lot of people are at lifestyle, aren't they? Confidence. Could be just something as generic as people getting out there and doing stuff, wouldn't it? Depends on what the service is, I guess. Put it situationally within something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got any viewers, Will? One. Come on. Who is it? Can you, who is it? What, the on? Twitter. X. No, we don't do Twitter anymore. The person on X, which potentially could be the same guy as the other day who was on LinkedIn. Could you drop us a comment, please, just so we can see if it comes in or not?
This is a side question, just off me saying Twitter, you saying X.
Yeah.
Do you think it'll ever get to a point where people stop calling it Twitter?
Yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do, yeah. I think what'll happen, mate, is that they'll just turn it into posts. Because if you think about the word tweet, it's a really short little thing, innit? I'm putting a tweet out. But what people are doing now, they've kind of taken away how much you can put on. So I think it will just become a post. I don't think anybody will say, oh, it's an X. But I think people will say, I've just put a post on X. What's your reservation?
I mean more than the name itself. So it's like, for example, what's your handle on Twitter?
Yeah, they won't use Twitter anymore. It'll go that. It will, I promise you.
I know it will over time, but I thought it would have been gone by now. Like, for me, it just sounds so weird.
Yeah, it's just because it's been going that long and people have been using it. It's like changing your own patterns and stuff.
Because I don't know if you know, but like even, like Manager, for example.
Yeah.
Well, you just get generic softwares that send you. You get softwares that send you emails about social and what they can do and what have you. And when Manager released it, you can put on Twitter, but they call it formerly Twitter. So they'll say X, formerly Twitter.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that's not helping people move on either, is it really?
No, I just think people, all of a sudden, it'll just go, I think. But it's going to take, because it's been there for a long time, it takes a long time to...
Maybe it's also because it's visually, you just see a X.
Yeah.
You don't see it as
the
name of a product.
I think they should have left it as Twitter. I think it was...
Do you think he did it on, like, just to cause a stir?
Yeah, of course, yeah. And if I had as much money as he did, then I would as well. I think it's just that he wanted to integrate it into the whole SpaceX thing and all the rest of what he was doing. I think he's trying to align the brands, but
I think one of his sons is called X as well, isn't it?
Yeah, he's some Latin.
Oh, it's crazy.
Something symbol, isn't it?
Right.
Like Omega or something like that. It's Latin, is it? Yeah.
Mate, yeah.
Tau Techno.
Whoa.
Tau Techno Mechanius.
He's got loads.
Yeah, he's got about 14 kids.
There you go, that's how it's
spelled. Yeah.
I'm getting a lot of manager messages come through. Are they from people commenting?
Like that. Translate.
Yeah, can you not get out to spit it out? How does it pronounce it? Can you click that, the pronunciation in English there? The little... Yeah.
I think it would say XT.
Betty, are you watching? Can you put a comment on this live?
I don't think, because we've got the Zoom.
Okay.
I think we might have to do that.
Yeah, but yeah, I think he should have. I to be honest, I zoned out on the first question when you were talking about Twitter. Oh, it's because someone was on Twitter, wasn't it? On X. But yeah, I think it was 100% just him trying to make us be like, I own Twitter now.
Yeah.
And maybe, somewhere down the priority list, trying to bring some sort of cohesion to all the other stuff he runs. But yeah, I think Twitter's just so much more ownable, isn't it? It was there. I just don't know why you would. fuck around with
I
it.
don't know. I just think there was a lot of bad juju attached to it. He just kind of wanted to totally sort of like cut off from it.
I think X is worse now than Twitter were.
I don't know.
Because I think the whole thing with his like, with his reason for doing it was to be more free speech, I think, and you know, like let people do things. But all I see on it is like, well, it comes up because you have to follow in and then for you, don't you? They sort of everyone stole that from TikTok, and you've got that. It's all just porn shit you see half the time. Just people trying to promote whatever they're trying to promote. I think it's worse.
Do you know the question?
There you go. So I should stick to the questions.
I don't know. I just like to chat, don't we? What's happening? 5 people. Come on. We're on a roll now. We are on a roll.
So on X as well.
Thank you so much if you're tuning in to us. This is ChatGWT. That's Gaz, Will, Tim, live Q&As coming at you like Cleopatra. If you've just joined us, welcome. We're going to be going live at the end of every month with Q&As. I've got a question here for you, Gaz. We talk a lot about finding our purpose. Finding your purpose as a person can be different from finding your purpose as a business, but at the same time, they can cross over. How do we best find our purpose across both and at the same time differentiate between the two as we are the best version of ourselves both at home and at work through our business and for our clients?
Do you know who that was from?
Standish.
Okay. Well, I think it all comes back down to a personal level at the end of the day, doesn't it, realistically? Because it's the old saying, isn't it? Is do what you love and you never work a day in your life. So that's got to come from you as an individual. I feel like you've got to figure out that first before you can figure out what you really want to do on a business level. I feel like it's more difficult, and probably where people find the most difficulty is trying to bring that to something that's already more established because you've got more to unravel, I guess, you know. That's why we always say is like you said, brand and personal brand, you know. It's if you've got like say a sole trader hairdresser, you know, or even like come away from brand altogether, let's just talk about like if you are just a person who does whatever you do and you work for yourself, let's say you're self-employed, there's things that you do and ask yourself the question like that you will do at work or in your work mode that you don't do when you're at home, i.e. you're probably a little more tolerant, right? You probably put a different phone voice on when you're on the phone, you know, you probably make jokes, like whatever it is, like there's like a cocktail, and that's something you've defined for yourself because it's probably not been inspired too much about how you think it should be on a brand level. You have thought about it, but it's not been that sense. It's more what society dictates you that thing is, I guess, for a lot of people. But anyways, you've already constructed this brand or personal brand without you even knowing it. It's just been heavily influenced by outside references, I think, at that point. The difference is to ask yourself how you'd want it to be done. You know, if you could wave a magic wand and there was no judgment, you know, and you didn't have to try and fit into this box or worry about that what that person would say and think. It's like if you was given an empty box and go build what this looks like, you know, how would you do it? And then ask yourself to get to that image how you need to act and how you need to be, and then progress there. And I think 80% of it is going to be who you are anyways.
Yeah.
There's that 20%, but everyone has that, whether you're building a brand or you just go into work and you're employed for somebody. You know, everyone has that, those little tweaks, you know, that they hold back here or they up here and thing. I think the difference when you do it from brand and a strategy point of view is you are doing it for an outcome, aren't you?
Yeah.
For a reason. Yeah. To achieve a direction or whatever it is. The secret is to keep it as authentic as possible, I think, you know. Or don't, you know. I'd like to say, you know, it's easy to say, isn't it? Just like, just totally be yourself and do this, you know.
Do you think there's a difference between the word authentic and transparency? Do you think that them are sort of lines, like, you know, no, for me, for instance, I can't say that I'm transparent because of the things that I do that sort of like nobody knows that I don't want to bring into the business, where I am pretty authentic. Or do you think they're the same? Sometimes I question myself sometimes, authentic transparency from a personal brand and a brand point of view. I don't want to be transparent in the business, but I'm authentic. But if I'm not transparent, am I authentic?
I think they do very much cross over. I think transparency for me is about revealing and putting everything on the table and going, look at this. You know, authenticity is being true to yourself, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think transparency for me, when I think it within business, it's more. I'm trying to come up with an example now. Would be, you know, this is how we do things, and we don't gatekeep. Do you know, this is how we found success. Let me give you the tools to do it yourself. That's being transparent, ain't it, about how you operate and the value you're giving, you know. Whereas I think authenticity is more like, I'm going to do it this way and this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to be true to that, you know, rather than changing yourself to be a certain way, or that's what these people want me to be like, so I'm going to be like that. So yeah, I guess if I'm trying to understand what that is, I guess transparency is more in what you give, I think anyways, whereas authenticity is more how you give it or how you present it. If I was trying to differentiate the two, if that makes sense at all, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get it, mate. You know, because it's like I want to kind of, you know, keep up a bit of personal life to myself, you know, and not have, you know, my girlfriend and her kids involved because it's I don't want that side of that shown. I can still be authentic and not do that, but if I'm transparent, then I'll show that.
You'd be
side.
bearing all,
yeah. And I think that's the difference between my purpose and the vision and the values are still the same, but it's some of the values can be different from a personal brand to a brand.
Yeah, I think that's essentially, do you know, like
you said, the 80% seems right, where you can keep 20% back.
Yeah, or you can give 20% more. You can step 20% up into it, can't you? I think but it all comes back to the individual, doesn't it? And I think if you on a like the perfect example or direction of it is, you know, someone starts a company up. At that point, you're not thinking too much about this. You're just doing things your way or whatever it is, you know, because you come up with a crazy idea, right? And then it works, and you're like, right, okay, I'm going to do this a certain way. You take inspiration along the way, but generally you'll do it how you want to do it. And then other people learn off you. And then before you know it, you've got 2, 3, 4, 5 people underneath you. Yeah. That's when, and they all add a little bit as well, but it's still 80% that main thing. Yeah. And that becomes like the brand then, doesn't it? You know? And it's very heavily guided by that person who started it, I guess, because it's just all they know until you go through a rebranding process, you know, of going down and going, actually, is this right? Are we connecting with the right people? Do we want to be growing here a little bit more? Do we want to target that a little bit more? And then you can sort of try and change that perception of whatever it is, you know. But the values, I think, you know, when you're looking at small to medium level, generally do come from the person in charge, whoever that is, you know. Yeah. So yeah, to go back to the question, I think it's better to sort to figure that out beforehand personally, and then you can inject that into the business, you know. Yeah. I think it's like the best example or a good example to give is probably like, you know, is like, let's take Dwayne Johnson and The Rock. You know, The Rock like is 80% Dwayne Johnson probably. And I keep going back to that figure because that mantle that you assume when he steps into The Rock, it's got to be authentic, you know, as you say, for people to believe it. Yeah. He's a character, you know, for the fans to attach to that, you know, and resonate with what he's doing. He has to be able to pull it off. So, you know, so the charisma can't be too far removed, you know, the jokes and the on the spot wit can't be too far removed. It can be pumped up, you know. If he was sat in a pub having a tequila or in a bar somewhere, he probably won't be as outrageous as he is there, but it's within a 20% tolerance probably because he needs the foundational stuff to actually deliver
to be
it.
authentic.
Exactly.
You know. But he's not being fully transparent for who he is.
No, but he's just cranking it up, right? You know, and that's where it's heightened, isn't it? Like any character, you know, you just take the biggest assets of it and you crank it up to 100, don't you? But it's still him at the core. You know, there's be a lot of similarities, but the people who probably know him personally will be like, you know, oh yeah, I can see where that comes from.
Yeah.
You know, but then it does become this mantle that he assumes as well, you know, to do what he needs it to do. But you look at, you know, you do look at it and think he is essentially just because you look at the Dwayne Johnson, how he communicates on social media, you know, he is super positive, isn't he?
Yeah.
Grafter, gets his head down, just does all the stuff. He's constantly doing whatever he's doing. The Rock essentially is all those things, you know, but he's got a little bit more of a mouth on him. He goes after people a bit more, you know. He's thinking, but he's still, you know, well, traditionally he was still that good, hard-working guy who was the people, wasn't he? He was always for the people. Look at that. Comes from the people's champ, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he's all for the people. You see him when he's on his social media, when he's with kids. You see him the one in the supermarket.
Yeah.
The kid comes up to him, wants to play like rock, paper, scissors, and he's like, yeah, okay, cool, let's do it, you know. So it's very, you know, it's got to come from somewhere, essentially, hasn't it? Because that's the thing that I think people make the mistake of, is trying to make this cast iron thing that they can't keep up with, and it just don't feel right, and you can't quite pull it off, you know. Unfortunately, like, you know, there's change. You can learn things, can't you? But if ultimately you're not cool, you can try as hard as you want, but you might just never quite get there.
Yeah.
You know, like Will Smith cool.
Yeah.
No one else could quite pull off that kind of cool, could it? Well.
Any chats, Will?
Well, this is the thing, so
Okay.
Standish has actually
listen to
messaged
the
on LinkedIn.
excuses, yeah? Saying, hi Standish.
Afternoon chats, that's what he's put. So we need to figure out, this comes up here on our right hand side.
What does?
How do you know?
I'm on it now. LinkedIn.
Ah, okay. Oh, right, yeah, okay, so you're in the live stream, I get you. Obviously, this is a trial session.
He has replied. He has messaged you on there. However, it's not come through here, so we'll have to figure out how that's supposed to work.
That's all right. And how are we live on Instagram? Is there anybody on Instagram? Have we got any more viewers? We've still got the same 5. Jesus, come on, retention. Lee, I don't know if you're watching before, but do you go on the sunbed? Just a quick question. If you could message us in to let us know. Gazzy's going to check in on Instagram now to see we're live. Betty, if you're watching, I just want to give you a big shout out. You did really well on that last call. Don't know the person's name, but just keep going. Sean, if you're watching, someone's ringing. Who's ringing? It's the doctors. You know what? I'm going to put it on speaker. Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hi, is that Timothy?
Yeah.
Hi, Timothy. My name's Christine. I'm ringing from the doctor's surgery. I'm sorry to trouble you.
Am I okay? Is everything all right with me?
Yeah, it's just about your appointment on Monday morning. The phlebotomist isn't going to be in the morning, but you can come in the afternoon if you don't mind. Can you do that?
Yeah, I'll have to check my diary and stuff.
You can go up to Blackrod on Monday morning at 11:15 if you'd rather do that.
It's just a bit of tricky one. I like to get it early in the morning.
Do you? Let me look on another day then. No, I've nothing like that, you know, in those few days.
Well, I've got, it's nothing important. Well, I hope it's not important. But I can do it in like a week or so. What have you got in a week?
Not early morning, no.
Come on. What can you do for me?
I'm looking. Just give me a second. So what time can you do? What's the...
I can do any time in the morning. I'd really appreciate it. What earliest does the phlebotomist do?
Sorry, say that again.
What's earliest the phlebotomist is in?
On Monday, she will be in at... Sorry, I'm just trying to work it out for you. 10 to 2.
What time?
10 to 2 in the afternoon on Monday, the earliest I could do it.
1 second, have I got 10 to 2 free on Monday?
The 10th.
Yeah, on the 10th.
I believe so.
I'll go for 10 to 2.
All right, thanks very much.
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
no, it's all right,
Thanks
no
for your
problem.
understanding.
No problem at all.
Thank you.
Thank
okay,
you.
We'll see you at 10 to 2. Thank you.
See ya. Bye.
Bye-bye.
If anybody's looking for a doctor's in Bolton, can I just recommend Peter's house? It is so nice. The people there. The phlebotomist is...
Oh, is it in Bolton now?
What?
Your doctor's in Bolton?
Yeah.
You finally changed it?
Yeah, bit back. I think it was him who recommended it. He said, I'll try Peter's house. But why are you pulling your face out? You said to me, Peter's house going to be good.
I mean, I went there as a kid because it's in West Norton, but I don't think I would have recommended it.
I just thought, look, listen, if Moneybags there is going to doctors, I'm like, he's got to be good. If the Horners go to the fucking Peter house, I'm going. Yeah. We've got 7 people. I don't know what's going on, but we're picking up momentum. We've got 7 people watching. If you just tuned in, them 2 people, welcome to
Facebook.
Chats. What?
Facebook.
ChatGWT. That's Gaz, Will and Tim. Live questions. What were we doing? Did you find the chat?
Oh, it wasn't. I couldn't see it live on Instagram.
Come on, Will.
It says we're live here.
Right, okay. Do you want another question, Gaz?
Go on then.
You like these questions, you? Right, okay. We know we're good at what we do, and our customers love us when they find us. But that's the problem. It feels like we're just blending in with everyone else. We see other restaurants getting attention, standing out, being talked about. But when it comes to us, we're just another option. We don't want to be forgettable. How do we make our business truly memorable?
Again, with that context, it's hard to see because with what you're doing, physically, I think on a brand and visual identity level, the messaging they're putting out there, the visuals, the marketing, all the rest of it. But it sounds like we need to probably target a niche, and be good at something, because generally the problems were...
It sounds like a restaurant.
Yeah.
Did I say restaurant then? Yeah, restaurant getting attention. We see other restaurants getting attention.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that can just be a number of things, not necessarily that they're probably not any better than you are with the product. It sounds like you got the hardest thing figured out anyways, which is getting a good product, because if the product's shit, you got no chance.
But a good social media to follow is Cafe Italia. Just because, Will, do you want to say anything? Will runs a social for a Cafe Italia. You want to look at how to do it, have a look at that one. But again, I think it's just going to come back to brand, mate, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you just target a niche. So if because the confidence is there that you're saying you're very good at something. Probably ask yourself what you're the best at, what you'd love to do. Like, for example, is a pizza, and you will die on the hill that you make the best pizza in the world. So focus on that. Or focus on that one thing that you think makes you extraordinary.
Yeah.
And not to say you can't do other things, but that's got to be the primary thing that we're communicating. And tack things onto the back end of that.
Yeah, but like you said, the first question is, we know we're good at what we do, and our customers love us when they find us. So why don't you get testimonials from the customers that love you? Give them something free or percentage off if they do your little testimonial and get it out there. That's another way to get people who don't know what you're there and get your name out there. I mean, me and Gaz can bang on all day about like you need a rebrand, but it is pretty much true with everybody. But in that case, it's just let the customer tell your story. and get it out there, and that'll definitely help you get to the next level. Yeah. Restaurants is a tricky one, isn't it? There's that many of them. They're all doing the same. And fuck me, ever seen another fucking burger joint open up?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And they're just like looking like each other.
Yeah, but you argue that, and I mean, this might be a really bad example. Actually, they've reopened. You're Almost Famous.
Have they?
Yeah.
No, I don't mean them. I mean like a takeaway one.
No, I get it, but yeah, but that also.
They're so famous.
Yeah, but that's all would have just started as the same thing, wouldn't it? Do you know what I mean? It was probably a takeout thing before it was a restaurant, you know. But you say exactly like what you were saying is like, or what you was getting at is, it's just another burger place, but it's because the
get this live on Insta. Sean, I know.
So I think
how's that come through?
I don't know.
Hey, Sean.
Sean,
have you had your eyebrows done? I feel like there's something different and your hair's gone a bit darker.
No, because look, there's two destinations it's pulling in from, and it's Facebook. That's the only place that your comment section is pulling in for. You must have to add them in the settings.
Oh, come on, Will.
But yeah, it's because people are popping up these places that essentially cookie cutter the other places. They don't offer anything different, do they? Do you know what I mean? In terms of not just the product but the service as well.
Yeah.
You know, I think a good example is that Rudy's. You know, the pizza place. They do it different. You know, even to the point of like, you know, I think I went there, and the thing that was like different for me was the guy come over. And obviously it's dead urban and like informal when you're in there and they're taking the order. But the guy took my order. We ordered, like 4 of us ordered with drinks and everything like that. And I'm expecting like a little notepad, you know, to come out and be like, oh, this is thingy. And he didn't. And negatively, I thought, he's not going to get this order right. And I was
he's not paying attention.
Yeah,
he's not listening to me. And
then the order came and it's perfect. You know, and I was...
How do you feel about that?
No, see, this is the thing. At that moment in there, and this is what the thing is about taking a risk and doing things the way you want to do them. Because initially, at some point, the customer is going to feel like that exactly what you're saying negatively.
Yeah.
Are they doing it right? They're going to think, all the rest of it. What you've got to do is be all right with that, and then you've got to deliver what you want to deliver and change the perception of it. And show them with proof that it's all right to do it your own way. You know what I mean? Because when he delivered it, I was like, well, actually, that is a way better way of doing it, because not only is it 10 times harder to just remember it off the top of your head and walk off. And this might not be a stable for their brand. This is just my experience of it. And again, that's all the brand is my perception of Rudy's, you know. Everybody has a different perception. Realistically, everyone perceives the brand in a different way. That's the way I see it. He might be the only person that does that. But
do you think? I feel like that might be a thing that they do.
Probably, because for me it communicates.
What would the psychology be behind that?
Because it communicates, it's more laid back straight away, doesn't it?
Right.
You know, it's more informal, and that's obviously what they're trying to go for, because the way down to the fit out of the place, down to the way they serve the pizza, to the price point, to the way they take your order, to what they offer in terms of beverages and all the rest of it. You know what I mean? They're trying to facilitate that consistency, that cohesive thing of it being just a cool, informal place to go and get pizza. You know what I mean?
What's your relationship like with Almost Famous, the brand?
I think it's cool. You know, I don't know what was going on with the whole thing. I said when I seen them shut down, I was like, it seemed a bit strange. The thing. Well, I mean, I was just only reading what was online. It was like COVID debt or whatever it was.
What was up with that, Will? Just have a look at.
But I believe it's reopened. Anyways, I've heard it's reopened.
Did Almost Famous shut down? Just the one in Manchester?
No, all of them. The whole thing went bump. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, but then I've heard recently they reopened, but I don't know. I could be wrong. Vicious rumour. Yeah, closure of all sites.
27th of Jan.
Yeah.
Found of Manchester Burgers Almost Famous has announced the closure of all its sites in an update initiative on
Lingering COVID debt.
Right.
Which is, it probably was thingy, but because they did have some pretty impressive sites, didn't they? But I've heard it's reopening anyways. But
put in there, how was it reopened? How have they done that quick? Obviously, somebody must have invested or bought them out or something.
Well, just type in Almost Famous, see if it's reopened.
I've seen Burger Slut though. I really need to go to Burger Slut.
I've seen this stuff, yeah. Oh, new owners. There you go.
There we go. New owners. It's back open, everybody. If everybody didn't know, Almost Famous is back open. New owners.
Oh, yeah, someone else's thing did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it said they were opening up in February. Oh no, they acquired it in February.
D2's new managing director Daniel Kelly will be at the helm of the Northern Quarter of Liverpool.
Oh right, so they're only keeping the two sides.
Right.
But yeah, do you know? And that's the reason. It just goes to show that it's been bought out within a month.
Yeah, because they love the brand.
Yeah, and the product's sick first and foremost. The brand's bang on.
Best burger you've ever had?
What Almost Famous?
Yeah.
Up there. Yeah.
What's up there? What other burgers up there?
Well, the best burger in the world in terms of consistency, not quality, is the Big Mac, isn't it? Because you can go to get a Big Mac anywhere in any country in the world, and it's not the best.
Yeah.
But you know what you're getting.
Yeah.
That's what they say about McDonald's, though. It's really good at not being bad.
Yeah.
That's why
It's
so
never great,
Really
is it?
good
Yeah.
at not being bad.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
where are we there on the level?
Yeah.
That's the thing, though. You know what you get.
It's not excellent. It's
You-
just
and
good.
also, it's like the Usain Bolt thing. He only
Yeah.
had McDonald's because he knew he wouldn't get ill
Yeah.
before the Olympics.
He's not going to get the shits, is he? That's the thing. They want his food poisoning if you're going to go and break a world record, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially was it in China at the time as well, where he broke it.
Yeah, that's
In Beijing, was it?
Yeah, so he got all the. He just got hundreds and whatever chicken nuggets. Just had chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
Because he thought, I'm not eating any of this. I don't know.
And not necessarily there's anything wrong with the food. It's just like obviously just the way it's cooked sometimes. You know, like not that there's anything wrong with that. Just how it's just prepared differently. And I don't agree with you. You know.
Do you want the question?
Yeah. Well. Did he answer that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
We run a hair salon and we're great at what we do. Our clients leave happy and we love creating amazing transformations, but we don't just want to be another salon.
Yeah.
We want people to feel something, walk through our doors, to connect with us. We see us more than just a place to get their hair done. How do we create a business that people genuinely feel connected to? I'll start off with this because it's something that you said yesterday, right? And we keep talking about WWE and the characters within WWE, and I do feel the best way, we're kind of doing it ourselves by doing these live Q&As, is introducing the characters more within your business. And I do feel this is what people need to do more. And, to your sort of question there, that's what I'd be doing, is getting everybody that within that salon more involved on the camera and introducing them and letting them having their own little spot, whatever that is, on Mondays with Mandy, Tuesdays with Tracy or whatever that be. Get the characters going. We've always said this, mate, haven't we?
Yeah, and I think this is like the one that we've had before. I think about quite a lot of these hair salons. Is I'm just looking. Like, take one thing. It's like social media is probably the biggest form of advertising now because it's, relatively speaking, across the scope, it's the most accessible for every business, right? You know, because realistically, as long as you got an Instagram account, it can be free, can't it? As long as you're producing your own content. What people make the mistake of doing is just posting products all the time, and it's that sell, isn't it? And listen, it's important. It needs to be part of it. Again, this is a conversation we had the other day, even about our own social media. Is you can put the work out there, but realistically, I don't give a fuck about the work to a point. Because if I'm paying you money for a service, I expect, like in this hairdressers, for example, if I'm going to come in and pay you 70, 80 quid, 90 quid, 100, whatever it is to get whatever the service I want done, I expect it to be good because we're transacting, I'm buying a service from you, so I expect the haircut to be good. So to show it is important, I think, to a point to get customers in, but it's probably 10, 20%. The 80% more I'm looking at is, do I want to sit in a room with this person for 2 or 3 hours?
Yeah.
What value am I going to get from that person? Am I going to be sat there and be looking at my phone for 3 hours? Or am I going to be engaged with the person? And to see that, you need to show the personalities, which comes back around to exactly what you're saying about showing the characters off, Yeah. And it's all right. Listen, some people look at it and go, oh, and they'll make a snap judgment. Fine, cool. You don't need everybody. It's another thing that people make the mistake of is trying to target everybody, trying to please everybody. But it's about finding that niche, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who will connect with you for those reasons. And like you say, you only need 100 loyal fans, don't you, realistically? And that'll do you.
Yeah, they just keep coming because they love who you are.
Exactly. And it's easy to maintain that. Go back to the other question we say about the gap between who you are and who you show up as in that brand space or that business space. The closer them two elements are together, the less exhausting it is. You know, the more energy you've got, all the rest of it, because you're not having to put more effort into maintaining that thing. But I think so. To circle back around to the point of like the social media or the marketing as a general, you know, the messaging you're putting out there and the content you put out there, is to show off more of the personality, because ultimately I'm more asked about the person I'm going to be spending 3 hours with than I am about the quality of the cut. Because the quality of the cut's bad, then we're on a transactional level of like, well, I'm not going to give you the money for that. You know what I mean? Within reason, you know. If I've asked for something and you've delivered a certain thing, you know, that just comes down to law, you know, not necessarily a buying decision, you know.
Like you just said then, it's like, look, you could put 2 hair salon social media together with great hair transformations is what you're saying. And if you just kept putting them all the time, that makes you no different to that other person.
How do I choose?
How do you choose?
Yeah, as an individual, how do I choose between them two?
They're both going to be good. They're going to be excellent work, both of them. You're not going to put crap stuff on, so what makes you different?
Well, exactly. And, you know, again, you've got to balance this alongside the business strategy of who your audience is, where you position yourself in the market to capture the people, right? But you can niche down in terms of that. Isn't, you know, for example, I could be a salon that only targets, you know, alternative girls who have wacky hairstyles, bright hair colours, all the rest of it, and we specialise in that because we can get you to that point without damaging your hair, you know. Whereas a lot of salons more, but obviously that's super niche. If you do it right, there's an audience there for it. Again, how sustainable that is in the long haul with the full fashion thing, I think there'll be still enough people around to do that, you know, in the long run. But the safer option over here is, well, what we perceive as a safer option is we'll do a bit of everything, you know, all the regular stuff, or just move with the times and the trends or whatever it is. And yeah, okay, there might be millions of people you can target here and only thousands over here. But if you capture 80-90% of these people, as opposed to 0.5%, 1% of this, obviously the numbers might be off there, I'm just making it up, but you get the point, is if you can capture majority of an audience over here, even if it's smaller, you're better off doing that. Because guaranteed, that person knows another person like they do. You know, we're over here when it's a wider thing. 2 people could go in the salon and be polar opposite fucking people because we're targeting that wide. You know, more likelihood is if you go over here, I could sit them 2 people down in a pub and they'd probably crack on more than 2 random people out of this place would be, right? You know, so I think circle back around to answer the question without digressing any further. I think try and, again, it comes back around to asking yourself the questions of what you're trying to achieve. Like Tim said, if you was to put 2 salons at the side of each other, what makes yours different to this one? What do you believe in? What are you trying to deliver? And then produce content around that, your message to the world, you know, this is why we do it, you know.
I mean, for me, just like the personalities and the characters shine with your business. Look, if you've got a girl called Mandy and she's mullets, then have Mandy's mullets Mondays. Do you know what I mean? It's like you can really quirk it up and niche down on just a single post. People have been waiting for that thing. I mean, we used to do a thing called Will Wednesdays, which we're going to get back on because I've just said this now. But people are waiting for that post. It's exciting, it's engaging.
Just to throw a point out there, it doesn't have to be alliteratively lined up. For some
reason, I love doing that. I don't know, people just kind of get on with it. It's like...
Yeah, it's pleasing to hear, isn't it? But, you know, it could just be mullets with Tracy or, you know... whatever it is, you know, it doesn't need to be super creative or super clever. I think the thing to focus on is to start, I think, telling your story or your reason for being. And listen, you probably sat there going, well, I don't really know what that is.
Yeah.
You got to ask yourself questions. That's a journey in itself to get there, isn't it? But you can come up with that, whether you sit the team down and go, right, girls, like, you know, realistically. And the best question to ask is like, why do you do what you do? Because generally, the reason you've ended up in something, especially if you're working for yourself or it's your own business, is you've got an affection for it. It's about drilling down into that affection, isn't it? And finding out why you do it. Or asking yourself the question again, because you probably forgot, why did I start doing this? What was the feeling that either I got or I like to give to other people that got me going? and then ask all your staff as well, and they probably line up to a similar thing, and then all sit down and put into the pot and go,
get that culture shift going and tell the reason, the vision, and get everybody on board with it, and then they're more likely to start doing videos because you're all aligned with that. I mean, a good example was, Will, what was the name of that girl that did Finch Bakery? That was in the back room when they were doing behind the scenes. Do you remember her name? So if everybody knows about Finch Bakery, they had a girl working for them. And they give the phone to her because they knew her character would shine, and that's really how Finch Bakery blew up, because she was on the phone just kind of being himself. If you've got someone like that in your business, let them do that. That's what I say. We come back to it all the time as character, but listen, you know what Gaz is saying, if you can get everybody aligned with that vision and the purpose of the culture shift, and everybody's on board with that, and people more willing to do videos because they know what they're part of. When you know what you're part of, fucking hell.
Well, you've got to give people the reason, as we were saying, is you've got to be more than just the hairdressers, or just like, this is what we cut hair, or we do this service. You've got to give people a reason externally to that to come and do business with you, to transact with you, to be a customer, and it's that added value that can persuade people to come to you or to go somewhere else. Listen, 9 times out of 10, word of mouth is always going to be champion. Because we instantly trust something that somebody recommends us that we trust, right? And that's generally the way it goes. And if you're happy with the haircut, you trust your hairdresser, you stick around for years, don't you? You don't go anywhere. But there's them people. There's a lot of circumstances, isn't there? People move to new areas, or they have a bad experience with the last one, or the hairdresser retires, or whatever it is, and they're looking, or they're just purely looking for something different, I'm a bit bored of that. So I think it's you just gotta differentiate yourself as much as possible, and when somebody asks you the question, it's like, what do you do? It's like, I'm a hairdresser, I cut hair. There should be something else in the end of that statement. I'm a hairdresser, I cut hair, and the reason why I cut hair is, and if you can answer that question, you discover a direction, you follow the direction, you ultimately get somewhere that's a lot more unique and differentiated.
Fulfilling as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, I hope we've answered your question. Well, we've got one person comment, which is Sean. Sean, thank you so much. We had one person drop off. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. We just want to say goodbye from ChatGWT. That's Gaz, Will and Tim coming at you like Cleopatra on the 26th, lunchtime. Goodbye.